is this change? Is this what we're really talking about? Or is this, a difference of what someone wants in their life and someone doesn't?
Mm-hmm.
And then ultimately, one compromises. I'm not sure I guess that's change in some ways, but I also think that that's also a compromise and a willingness to see that, and in this particular situation, that yes, it will cause change to your life, certainly at the beginning.
I'm Julie Bulitt. I've been a family therapist for over 30 years.
I'm David Bulitt. I've been a divorce and family lawyer for more than 35 years.
Together, we have been married for more than 37 years.
In our professional practices, the two of us have been witnesses to individuals and families struggling with life's most difficult challenges. In this podcast, we will talk about the conversations we have had,
The conversations we should have had.
and those that every relationship needs to have in order to find success, happiness, and fulfillment.
This is Conversations for Couples,
The podcast.
Hello, welcome to Conversations for Couples.
The podcast.
There you go. So Baskin & Robbins has how many flavors?
Well, they say 31, but having worked at Baskin Robbins, I can tell you there's a lot more than that. They just shuttle some flavors in and out.
Okay. So what's the reason why there's more than one flavor?
Because people like different things.
Correct. That's what this podcast is about.
Liking different ice cream?
Well, liking different things. So one of the things that has recently come up in our relationship is the amount of change that you like versus what I like. I don't like change. And I'll just say I, sort of come from a long history of not liking change. I would say my parents are very stable. They stay in the same house. They do the same things, one night's movies and the other night is game night and those kinds of things. So I have I want to say low tolerance for accepting change. And what would you say about your concept of change?
Well, first of all, let's notice the one thing that we've done differently already is that you started the episode, so that's a change that you did moderately well. So there you go. Usually, I'm the one that opens my big mouth to start, but I don't think that change or the fact that there is change, and we can talk about more specifics because that's a big word, that somehow reflects some sort of instability, which is what you just sort of intimated. Your parents were very solid and stable, and therefore, since there wasn't a lot of change, that infers stability. And I don't think that's a fair connection, if that's a connection you're trying to make.
No, I'm not making that connection at all. I am saying that liking things the same way all the time is a comfort thing.
Well, that's a different point.
Yes,
I understand
and that's what I'm saying that I like. I like to know, when we were thinking about moving, I was like, okay, what grocery store am I going to go to? What gym am I going to go to? And I didn't embrace doing new things in that way. So I would say I'm a little bit change adverse, whereas I think you like change.
Well, again, we've talked about this. It's not a question of liking. It's a question of being more adaptable and more willing and more adaptable to change, whatever that change may be. Something, to be honest with you, there's certain things that you might like to do differently than me. And you find me to be restrictive and not willing to change. You've said to me many, many times, "Don't get it. You need to get out of your box." Well, that intimates. Again, I use that the second time I've used that word in the last first 3 minutes. That intimates that I won't change. Right. So there you have a point where you think I'm inside my box, unwilling to change, to step out. Right. And
right.
Okay. So you're black and white. You like it, and you don't, and I do. It doesn't quite fit. Doesn't quite fit.
So you like change in some areas.
Again, you keep saying like. All right. What I say is I embrace it, and I'm not unwilling to look at it.
Yeah.
And particularly when it comes to certain things.
Right.
Certain things, yes.
So let's talk about what sort of prompted this. So what sort of prompted this is that we had two dogs for a very long time.
15 years.
For 15 years, and one recently passed away about a year ago. And I was like, okay, we're good with one dog. Like, he is 9, he is trained, he is easy at this point. And David's like, let's get a dog, let's get a puppy. And I'm like, oh no, we shouldn't have a second dog, because they, cause more work. They're going to make messes. They're going to chew stuff up. And I really, really did not want a second dog. And David's very adaptable with dogs specifically, and he probably would have 14 dogs. So I did not embrace the concept of changing our life a little bit to get a dog. And I said no.
Yeah, you said no for a long time. And is this change? Is this what we're really talking about? Or is this, a difference of what someone wants in their life and someone doesn't?
Mm-hmm.
And then ultimately, one compromises.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I guess that's change in some ways, but I also think that that's also a compromise and a willingness to see that, and in this particular situation, that yes, it will cause change to your life, certainly at the beginning, with me trying to run him outside, make sure there's no damage to the house, and getting fed, and 2 dogs instead of 1, and walking and so forth, and all in the dirt and the rest of it that comes along with it. So there's definitely a change, a difference. But I think the reason that we get there with regard to Archie's his name, by the way, a very sweet little fellow.
He's very cute.
He's very sweet.
Maybe we should bring him out.
Well, I think you ought to wait on that. He's liable to try to lick the microphone and then who knows what while we're trying to record this episode.
Yeah.
Something else that would lead you to be adverse to change, possibly.
Yes, adverse to change.
I mean,
So how did we work out this change? This, me saying no, and then you kind of, let's talk about that.
Okay. So you want to give your perspective, and I'll tell what what really happened?
So let me just say, I really didn't want another dog. I like dogs. I don't love dogs. Okay. We're probably going to get some hate mail from me. But anyway, I was happy with one dog. And I said, no, we're good. We're good. And David went to a canine rescue, which is a wonderful organization here in the DMV. And we'll actually do a link for them. And he went to an adoption day, which was not a good idea for a dog lover. And he fell in love with Archie. And I started getting text messages and photos, and my granddaughter was there. And she was saying, Juji, why won't you let Peeps get, what was his name?
Crusher.
Why won't you let Peeps get Crusher? And I'm like, oh, because Juji just likes one dog at a time. So I said no, and you left Crusher, who's now Archie, there, and you came home and you pouted for a week. And then I realized that this was not going away. I was hoping it was, but it wasn't going away. And you kept in touch with the person that was fostering Crusher, Archie, and you kept on talking about him. And then as a week went by, I knew you really liked this dog. And I also knew that you do most of the dog caring. It doesn't affect me as much as it affects you. And I just decided, you know what, this isn't going away, and it would make you really happy. And so I said yes.
Okay. Well, I think part of that's true.
What part?
The part that you realized would make me happy, and you said yes. I mean, there was definitely, first of all, there was no intention to enlist the support of all of our grandchildren who were on her neck incessantly, by the way, about why she wouldn't let me get another dog. And that was not my doing. I didn't ask my grandkids to do that. I didn't put them in the middle there.
Did you pay them?
Did not pay them. Did not. But Julie lives in a family that everybody else loves dogs. And she's the one that doesn't. That doesn't mean you don't deserve respect for how you feel about things. And I would certainly have been respectful of that. At the same time, there's certain things in life that help you get through difficult times.
Why wouldn't one dog do that? Why
He
do you need to?
He does do it. And my golden, who's not quite 9, is 9, but is a young 9, by the way, still has a lot of puppy in him, and is my companion because, during the pandemic, he was right by my side. And having this puppy doesn't change any of that. other than a little bit of dog depression that he's having trying to adjust.
He's having a
but
little.
But what I'm saying to you is, if we want, and the pouting is an exaggeration. The being sad is not an thinking that to myself that this is a dog that was meant for me. We all, if you're listening to me out there, we have all had circumstances that have come up in our lives where we've seen something and say, I got that is meant for me, or I'm supposed to do this, or I'm supposed to do that.
When I met you, I knew you were meant for me.
No, boy. Okay. Okay. On the heels of telling me how much I was pouting. But so like, for example, when we got our house in Olney, you said, oh, I saw this neighborhood. We were meant to live here. Now,
I got
would I have picked that neighborhood? Yeah. No, because it wasn't what I would have wanted in a house or in a yard or in for various different reasons. But ultimately, I said, okay, and so that was a compromise. Mm-hmm. It was, I guess it was a change in how I addressed it, just like you had a change in how you addressed the puppy. But change on the main is difficult for most people. Mm-hmm. Any kind of change is different. And that's why
it's more difficult for me than it is for you.
Oh, it absolutely is more difficult for you. But that's, in my world, that's why a lot of people stay married. Mm-hmm. Not because they're happy, but because, it's the devil you know versus the devil you don't. Mm-hmm. I'm not happy here, but if I change, if I go to get divorced or separate, mm-hmm. oh my God, what's going to happen to me?
Yeah.
And that's just one example. So, but I think that you're probably in the majority of people who fear it. Yeah. And I think fear is a right word. You don't, you get, I
get anxious about it. Yeah. What is it going to look like? And I like the predictability.
I tend to, and again, we're talking about dogs and houses, but there's other change type issues.
Absolutely. And what I want to say is that this is an issue that comes up all the time in my office with couples.
Yeah.
Is the concept of change and how people react to it. And it causes a lot of difficulties. And I think that there's not like one size fits all, like you always meet in the middle or whatever. Right. I think you have to talk about it and acknowledge like what's triggering for you about this change, what's hard for you about this change, and the partner understanding it and really like talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, and with the dog, I certainly understood it. I didn't agree with it. I mean, I understood it, and we're very fortunate where we have a home close to our kids and grandkids, and we have another place that has a little more, works a little bit better for dogs because mm-hmm. there's a yard and there's space to run and walk and so forth. And I felt like, I'm doing it all anyway. Yes, you're going to get woken up a little bit. Yeah. It's going to be a few months, and then it's all going to will be smooth, smoother sailing. We all know who had dogs. It's a year anyway before they're.
What did somebody say to me this week? You give a dog
a year.
You give your life for a dog the first year, and they give you
the rest of their lives.
The rest of their lives. I love that. I love that.
And for those of us who are dog lovers, we know that is probably the case, or maybe not even a full year. Maybe it's less than that. But
yeah.
But I think that change, the need, sometimes when change is imposed upon you, mm-hmm. That's where folks can really have trouble, mm-hmm. right? So let's say, for example, you've got a couple whose finances are such that they have to make some decisions about what they can't have anymore, what they can't do, mm-hmm. and for folks who are more open to change, it might be easier. Mm-hmm. as opposed to others who are not. Mm-hmm. And that could be very difficult. What do you mean we can't go out to dinner on Saturday night? Or what mm-hmm. do you mean we can't do our 2-week or a week vacation? Or, what do you mean I can't buy that new hat or dress or jacket?
Or that our kids can't go to private school, right. or that we can't afford the groceries this week and we need to, you have
to change. We always
differently.
We always bought this. Why do we have to do it now? We've always done that. Yeah. And frankly, it's interesting. This just popped into my head. So as you know, I'm chairing this gala for CASE, the Center for Adoption Support and Education, co-chairing. And during the course of our planning, we had some discussions with, some folks who had been involved, me, the co-chair, and some of the people who had been involved in prior events. And there was a lot of, we've always done this mm-hmm. and we've always done that. And when we said to them, well, okay, but we're not going to do it that way this time. Yeah. We're going to do it differently. Yeah. A, they didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
B, they were very nervous about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not being critical. They have every right to be, because they did things their way.
Yeah.
So in any number of circumstances, change can be a difficult thing in a relationship. It's definitely a difficult thing, and it can be a hard area to navigate.
Absolutely.
I mean, it really can. And I think that ultimately you did the right thing.
Of course I did the right thing. And I'm going to go get Archie, because I think they need to see
get Archie. So we're going to get Archie, and then you're going to have to let Archie out. And then I will close after you show everyone Archie. So she's getting Archie, who's in his little crate for the moment. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, you will see Archie. For those of you who are not watching, you will not see Archie, but you can assume that he is a cute little character. And here is Archie. There's Archie, who was Crusher originally. Yes, this is Archie, a mixed up character. Sweet, sweet boy, and probably needs to go and pee. Yes. So I'm going to let you do that. Take him out, and we will thank everybody for hanging in. And this is our most recent change. Our golden retriever is down below. I won't pick him up. And thanks again for joining us. You can find us at the Bullitts, TheBullitts.com, on all social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and LinkedIn. I still don't get the whole LinkedIn thing.
And let us know how you deal with change in your relationship. DM us, email us, let us know how change has affected the two of you.
This is Conversations for Couples,
the podcast.
See you next time. Woof. Julie Bulitt is a professionally licensed clinical social worker and family therapist. David Bulitt is a divorce and family lawyer. Julie is not your therapist, and David is not your lawyer. This podcast is meant for educational and entertainment purposes only.